And welcome to a very special live whip. Today we're sitting down with our favorite person, no question about it, Beau Cremer. We're talking about the Trash and Burn deck, which is currently live on Kickstarter. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure to click that link down in the description below and go back it. This is an amazing deck for anyone who's looking to pick up a great everyday carry that they can literally just trash and burn. What's up, buddy?
First of all, why aren't you in the bathtub?
Do you know, today I was like, I'm going to go set up this whole bathtub thing and I'm going to get the lights in. And I started to move everything and I was just like, because I know last time I said I'm going to try and get in the bath and I was like, this is too much. And I was trying to get posts ready for the Kickstarter and finalize final things. And then I was like, yeah,
no,
that's it. It'll be a lot. Look, we could always do a live tomorrow or something, you know.
We're definitely gonna one day we're gonna get a Beau in the bathtub live. There's no question about it.
24-hour episode this year. You're doing it from the bathtub, buddy.
Well, look, how about this? If the Kickstarter gets 10 grand, then I'm gonna do that. I'll do a thank you all live from the bathtub.
All live from the bathtub.
That's it.
See, the funny thing about that is I know that you could literally just pop on Instagram live probably tomorrow when you're in the bathtub for 5 hours and just have some fun with it.
Well, you know Jason Knowles, he was doing a live last night and he goes, "Oh, come and join me." And I love to tune in to the lives in the shower. And he's like, "Oh, trying to join me." And I kept declining. He's like, "Why do you want to join me?" I was like, "This actually happened to me once before. I was in the shower and Murphy's Magic, they did a live and they included me in.
Yeah.
And I literally got out and I put a shirt on and you could see like water coming through my shirt. And Luke Dancy's like, "You look very wet." And I was like, "I was literally just in the shower."
You can be like, "Dude, I was just excited."
Yeah,
that's it. I love it. The nervous
I was sweating because you asked me to be on the show.
Yeah, that's it. Don't you know how? Yeah, Murphy's just gets me hot under the collar.
There you go. But for the real reason we're here today, as I so eloquently put earlier, I'll toot my own horn there. Trash and burn, man. This thing. First off, I was super excited and I messaged Beau immediately yesterday when I went in to post a story about this and there were like little GIFs in there showing like all the animation. I was like, oh, this is great because I thought I was going to have to use a random picture of a dumpster on fire. Who would have thought that there were already some branded ones out there? So that was perfect. But what was the whole motivation behind this deck, man?
Oh, good question. So when we had our first deck, the Ristretto come out, it's like I've got this pitch ready. And I've told it a million times. It's good. When we had the first deck come out, we actually had a lot of people. And after our first deck, because our first ever deck we released, we wanted to chat to a lot of people and see what they liked and what they hated and make the best deck we possibly could. And that's why we didn't have another deck come out 3 months after we released the Ristrettos. We did it, I think it was like, it's almost been 2 years since we had the Ristrettos come out. So we were like, talking to everyone, what do you hate? What do you like? What do you like? And a lot of people like, we want to get rid of the design on the back. We don't want the faff. We want like a good worker deck. We want it cheaper. So we just kept talking. And a lot of times people kept saying trash and burn. We want a deck that we can trash and burn.
Nice.
And that just kept coming up. So we were like, okay, let's start there. Let's have a deck that we can trash and burn. And for people that make playing cards, you know how expensive it can get.
Yeah.
So we, Steve's, yeah.
Oh yeah. Ooh, I know.
It's getting hot in here now. But yeah, so we're there. We're like, okay, and a lot of people are like, we want a deck that we can. So we wanted to kind of like rival bicycle because you can go and get a bicycle deck for like $5 or $7, whatever.
Yeah.
We wanted a deck that we could get that low, and we kept trying to manufacturers, and we ended up finding Sunwell Packing and getting their stock. And the stock that they sent was a little bit, it was their standard stock. So we're like, can we play with this? Can we do this? Can we add this? Can we make it thinner? Because we were actually going for thicker cards. And a lot of people said, no, we want a thinner card that you can, it's easier for spectators to fold or even spectators to rip. Because if you hand someone a big, thick card, they're like, I can't get through this thing. So we're like, we need a thinner card. So we redesigned the whole stock, and we spent like almost a year like going back and forth, sending samples back and forth, and then we come up with this stock that we think I think it's really good. I'll let everyone be the judge of that, and if everyone hates it, then we'll go back to the drawing board and start again. But I gave it to like a bunch of magicians here in Ireland, and some in the UK that we sent the decks to and said, which I think there's decks on the way to you boys, but they're just the sample decks.
Nice.
So they're the old designs, which is like anyway, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, we handled the decks out, and we actually had the magicians do like a kind of a blind feel. So we put one in one hand and one in the other, and had them like rub it so you could see if they could feel the difference. And everyone's pretty much either got it right or wrong. Again, it's 50-50, so they can kind of guess. But they said it feels the same. The texture on the back feels the same. The thinness. They said if anything, our cards feel a little bit thinner, which is I don't know, that's a good
interesting.
thing.
Yeah.
Then because that is okay if people you want to manipulate cards and stuff. So that's where we started there. So yeah, that's where we come across that kind of stock. And then we went around the idea of keeping with trash and burn. We're like, with now the theme, how are we going to make this a theme? And then Andy sent me, I probably saw good side of 150 trash cans on fire.
Nice.
And we started Googling cans of trash cans on fire. And I'm pretty sure we had the cops knocking on our door going, why are you looking at photos of trash cans on fire? And then, then that's it. Going, you guys in arson. And then we were like, okay, so we're going to do court cards. Again, that's a big thing people want. We just, Andy come back to me and said, so what do you think if we went trash animals? I was like, go on. And because we decided the raccoon, because, you guys call it like the trash panda, I think, right? So we're like, yeah, we'll go there. We'll start with the raccoon, and then let's go the fox. Because have you ever seen the Mighty Boosh?
The what?
Mighty Boosh? Oh, okay. It's like you need to check this thing out. It's like a UK TV show back several years ago. Anyway, it's a long story short. There's a fox in there called the Crack Fox, and it's like this fox that's messed up on crack.
Let me guess, he's on crack.
Hey, how'd you know? You've seen it. And the Crack Fox lives in like a trash heap. So we're okay, well, let's not do that as the king. Let's go a bear, because bears are always in dumpsters and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll make like a slide. We'll call it the Crack Fox's mum and stuff. But yeah, so that's how that's all started. And then we started there, and then we sent them out to like the designs to Beau and got information back from him, and just design back and forth. It was trying to make a lot of people happy, which is hopefully what we can do. Did that answer the question? That was a long-winded answer.
That 100% answered the question, though, and I thought it was great because you gave not only the answer but also like a progression into how it came about, and I love seeing that, man, because I think it's interesting to see, and I think a lot of people who try and build out a deck of cards in general don't realize how lengthy of a process it is until they get into it. But then you throw in the fact that you were looking to do even above and beyond that. You were looking to find an inexpensive deck that you could, again, trash and burn. And that's even harder to do because, you go to USPCC, you go to Cardamundi, you're getting a decent price point. But if you sell it for dirt cheap as an everyday carry, you're not making any money on it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And obviously at the end of the day, this is not only to get inexpensive decks out into the hands of workers, but also it's a venture on your end, and so it's not worth making 10 cents a deck. But I really love the passion behind this idea and the energy and effort you put into finding a producer who is going to make a suitable deck of cards at a reasonable price.
I mean, not only does it take forever to design a deck and get it to the point that it's presentable to the masses, but you had to, not that you had to, but you wanted to find a stock that's workable and usable, because that is such a big thing in this community. There's people are very picky with what stock they use. So that's pretty...
as a magician myself, I know I'm fickle and picky for cards that I like to make gimmicks out of and that kind of stuff. So that even came into the gimmick aspects. This deck needed to be able to split the cards easy enough. It needed to, you needed to be able to fold cards or crease them or score them and not have issues. So even I was looking at it from that perspective, would I want to use this deck? And that's why I like with the samples and stuff that we come out, because we obviously had the straight border. I don't know how cards to light. We had the straight borders and stuff on them. And then we handed them out to magicians and stuff, and they were like, oh, can we have a bit more of an edgier edge to make it look nicer when you move them? So yeah, it was just that whole thing. You had to tick all the boxes. And then again, like you said, after you spend a year and a bit on it, you can't be making 10 cents per deck on it, because you're not going to put food on the table.
Yeah, no, it's a tough thing there, and I think you've done a great job kind of balancing that though, which is really impressive because it is a beautiful deck and it's really something you throw in your pocket. It's a gorgeous everyday carry. You know, it's fun. It's got the custom courts, like you said, that people really do love, but it also just allows you to not feel bad about destroying this deck.
Oh yeah, like I think in my first stream, I was getting the deck. Was it this one? And I was just grabbing the cards, and I was just like, you couldn't pick up like a custom deck that you get from a Kickstarter and just start doing this to it, could you? Because you'd have people going, what are you doing?
Oh my God, people would be crying.
See,
I mean, there are a lot of decks that I want to do that to, but
yeah. Well, see, you can do it to this one and not feel bad. But no, that's the reason, because I actually, while we were designing this deck, I had mates coming to me going, I'm practicing my Mercury card fold and I'm going through bicycle decks. I'm like, and they're like, and I want to do this when I'm out performing with my Monarchs or whatever, but I don't want to use this deck. And I was like, we're going to need a deck that everyone can trash and burn.
Right on.
I love it.
So yeah, that's how that came about. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to make a deck that people actually would want to use and not feel bad destroying.
What made you go with red? That's another hard thing to do, is to pick a color for a deck.
Well, that was the thing. A lot of magicians, again, we spoke to a lot. What color do you guys prefer? Everyone was going back to bikes and red and blue. A lot of magicians prefer red because it's easy to see when you're writing in Sharpie. It's easy for that kind of stuff. So we started with red as a good base color deck. And if this does well, then we're going to like other color changes. You know, we'll go to pinks and greens and stuff and get fun. But
you got to go with all like the trash oriented colors, like brown trash water, gray,
vomit
dumpster
yellow,
green.
Yes. We'll have ones like specks and chunks on the back and stuff.
Nice little pieces of meat.
So good.
Bon appetit, boys. Bon appetit.
A little spaghetti strip.
You have like a reveal stuck in the bear's tooth or something. Oh my God.
That's an idea. You hide.
And so now, awesome. I'm always looking for new work. So, so now the other fun thing about this campaign, obviously, you know, there were so many fun aspects to this, but you really went an even further extra mile there with this whole idea of this trash and burn garbage truck. First of all, absolutely loved the little trailer you put together for that. Had me laughing my ass off. But this thing is great and hand painted. Are you going to be the one painting all of these dumpsters?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Lucky I have one just here. No, so what this came about is we want to be different enough in our decks for every deck we release. We want to, you know, decks come in a cardboard box, and magicians love collecting the little, you know, the brick boxes and stuff. We're like, how can we take that a step further and be different and have like a talking point? Because people love pieces that sit on your desk and stuff, right? So I started looking at like trash cans that, you know, sit on your desk that you can store the decks in, but you can only fit like one card in it. And I was like, oh, one deck in it. It's like, this isn't going to work. And I stumbled across this bad boy.
I think it's so dope.
So yeah, like flashing lights. Whoa. So, okay. That. Wait. I know we won't. So we got this thing, and it opens up in the back, and it fits half a brick in there. And we tried to find one bigger for a brick, but we couldn't do it. So I spoke to my partner. I was like, I think I found what I want to put half bricks in. Hear me out. And he goes, oh, what have you got? And I sent him one of these trucks. It's like, and I like painted all the sides up because, you know, these trucks come literally like this. There's another one. So I'm starting to do them all up for the Kickstarter now. So they come like this. So nothing crazy going on. So I'm like, I want to tidy this up, like make it look trash and burn, like give it that Howlin flip. So
the funny thing is, I've never seen a dump truck or a garbage truck that clean, but then you look at the one you did and there's like dumpster juice all over it. It's so good, dude.
The back in there is like all splattered. And
if you ever decide to get out of playing cards, you definitely have a job in dumpster or garbage truck design. So.
Yeah, thank you. Well, cheers. Yeah, because we went really hard. Like, you know, I've always had a thing for like detailing stuff. I think it's really cool. So started detailing up, and then it started because we've had people going, oh, I want one. Can I customize it? We actually had a guy say, can you put a penis and stuff like graffiti on it? We're like, sure.
And you're like, Yes.
Did you even have to ask twice? But yeah, then we had like people asking for like custom designs. So we only have, I think there's literally one left on the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And then they're sold out. But yeah, so that's fully customized to whatever you want to have on it. I think where another guy wants like his logos and stuff on it. Another guy wants a goose on it because it's his brand. So we're graffitiing a goose on it. But yeah, then we stack 6 decks in the back of it. And then we're like, well, we need another place to store the other 6 decks. And for the people that don't want to get a truck, so then we come up with the dumpster brick box, which is
So
now
dope.
embossed, by the way, which is cool. So
That's really cool.
So yeah, it'll be fun because that dumpstery feel on it now.
Dude,
I
looks
love
so good. When
it.
I started painted, I was like, oh, so epic.
It's so good. And I love just the whole like the level of detail related to the theme that you've gone on to with this. And it's mind blowing.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's a lot of stupid ideas, and then we kind of spitball with it, and then it just turns into a snowball. And I'm like, oh god, what have we done? Like,
Dude,
I've got
that's like, I would expect nothing less with your name attached to it.
Well, now I've got to put an order in through Amazon tomorrow for 20 garbage trucks. Can you imagine?
Oh my god, I'm sure Amazon loves that. They're sitting there like, what is wrong with this dude?
Like, what the hell is this? What's this?
Oh my god.
The dude's got to be delivering. It's like,
you're gonna get like a call. They're gonna be like, "Are you sure?" AJ, thank you, man. We appreciate the support.
AJ, thank you.
Hashtag bring back the beard may or may not happen.
I have to shave mine off.
Have I got this one?
That
come through?
Yeah, that came through.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's one of the things I really love about this campaign too, and I know you and I chatted a little bit about this, is while you've really gone down a fun rabbit hole with the theme behind it, you've also kept the campaign really simple. You know, you haven't gone the route of, crazy add-ons or anything like that. You have the dumpster and the garbage truck. You have the decks themselves. Like, the whole message behind it of, hey, this was a deck that we're trying to get to the masses at a reasonable price comes through there. With this whole kind of, depending on how well this takes off with the Trash and Burn, would you continue to look for different printers going forward to even maybe bring the price point even further down? Or is this something where you are happy with the stock now? Or will this always continue to be maybe somewhat of an experimental brand?
Again, it comes down to our backers or the people that use the deck. And actually, if the users like the stock, then we will keep it there. And we'll keep going, but we'll try and get the price lower because that's ultimately what we want the deck to be affordable for everyone. Like, we want people to use this. I'd be so happy if I went out. Like, when I first started Magic, I didn't have money to buy decks of cards, so I had my bicycle. I think it's probably still sitting over there. It's like black because I used it till like it was dead. Like, it was fraying out the sides, and I was like, I didn't have money to buy decks. So I was like, I want a deck that you can make affordable and you can have everyone using them. So I think that's the answer. The experiment, we just want to keep making this deck perfect, keep going lower if we can, keep tweaking a little bit. If people aren't happy with the stock or whatever, then we'll keep tweaking that. Hank, who we deal with at Sunwell, I love Hank. His name's Hank Wang. What a guy. What a guy. He's down to do anything. Like, I'm like, hey, we want to tweak this. Can we do this? And he's like, yeah, we'll do that. I was like, okay, cool. So he's down to, he wants to do the best he can in the industry as well. He loves Magic stuff. So
that's cool.
Keep tweaking it.
And his name's Wang.
Yeah, I know. We're going the Wang Master.
Mr. Wang.
Mr. Wang.
Wang-a-lang-a-ding-dong.
Oh my god. Steve, jeez.
I got too excited. I kicked my camera.
That's what happens when you get the three of us on a show. But yeah, dude, I absolutely love the deck. It's interesting too because, with the Ristretto deck being such a popular deck and with the Howling Jack brand, I really feel like it is a complete opposite direction of Ristretto, but fits the brand still so perfectly. And I think that's one of the fun parts about the Howlin' Jack's brand is it's, I don't want to say like all over the place, but it's not just like, oh, we're always going to put out these really fancy coffee shop decks. It's like Howlin' Jack's is a man of the people.
Dude,
yeah, that's
it. Dude, this is literally the same brand. Like Howlin' Jack's.
Yeah.
You have the Ristretto deck. That's the coffee shop that's right in the front. And the Trash and Burn is in the alleyway, dude.
That's it. It's all
I thought you were going to say like the back of the coffee shop is like a waste management facility. I'm like, that would be coffee I'm not drinking.
That's not what they do. They just bring out the bag straight into the cup.
Yeah, dude, it's just they go out back and throw all their leftovers, and it's all burning up in the bag. It's perfect.
Yeah, the Crack Fox is our main barista, man.
I mean, that's some powerful coffee for sure.
Yeah, that's
you won't be sleeping for 3 days.
But we actually, there you said that. Well, we have got a plan for all this. Like, there's always decks. I'm trying not to give too much away because Andy's going to kick my ass if I do. But we've got them a reason for all this to kind of merge together into a big cohesive lump.
Nice.
If that makes sense. But again, that comes down if people hate the deck and they don't want any more, then it'll just be left with a Ristretto and a trash can. But we'll see.
I love it though, dude. No, I'm really excited by it because I do think it's just going to be a fun workers deck, and I think people so often look for worker decks, and it's hard to find now. As weird as it sounds, like you said, the options are basically a rider back or what, like I think a lot of brands historically have tried to go hey, we're creating a worker deck route, but nowadays they seem to still be at that like $15 price point, and you're like, at what point does it become too expensive to be considered a worker deck? And, I think you did a great job with it. I mean, I think the price point on your bricks, if you went that route, they're like less than $6 a deck, something like that about there?
Yeah, it's for a whole brick, it's $70 a deck. And I think that's the thing too.
That's crazy.
We had which Steve helped a lot with that because we're like, what, because we were talking about shipping and stuff, and we wanted the decks to be. See, last time we did the Kickstarter, we live in the UK, so we're like, oh, it's 15 quid a deck, so like $17 a deck, and now we have to charge you $20 to ship it to you. Yeah. And people were like, because Kickstarter, the majority of the people are in America, so we're like, we need to keep this price down. We can't be selling it a $7 deck and then, hey, now can we ship it to you for $15? Right. No one's going to want to do that. So Steve, the sexy man that he is, reached out to him and was like, mate, take your clothes off. It's getting hot in here, baby. We were like, oh, we need to get that price down. And Steve was willing and happy enough to kind of help us with that, to do fulfillment for all of our US. And then
only for you, buddy. Just so everybody knows, I'm not doing fulfillment.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, if you want Steve's email, or his phone number, send me a text. I'll send you everything.
I am not doing fulfillment. You heard it here.
Yeah, no, but
this is for you, Beau.
Yeah, I know, it was a favor, and I really appreciate that. So that's what I mean. Like, it was a big group effort of people coming together to try and keep this deck as low as we could to get it to people. I like that the community kind of banded together.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Tell us a little bit about the merch too, man. You got like a dope hat on with some tees. What else you got?
So yeah, because we had, we were like, decks, but as this Kickstarter's been rolling on, we've had people ask for other things that aren't in the Kickstarter. And at the end of the last one, people were like, oh, we want shirts and hats. So we're like, oh, we'll just add that on because people want merch and stuff. And literally, we're giving like free shipping on all the merch and hats. And which is weird because that's going to get sent out to you first if you order merch. So we're kind of taking that cost. We're not making any money on the merch. It's literally just to get that out to you guys. So we've got hats. We've got the beanie.
Nice.
Which is hella warm.
Dude, I love how you have them already too.
I know. Product marketing, testing, right? You have to test all this stuff.
Totally.
And then the Liz McGuire sweater. I wish we had that. But then like shirts and stuff.
Liz McGuire.
Jeez, what a great show. Let's talk about that for an hour and a half. I'm happy to do that.
Man, I know how much you love Lizzie McGuire, and I love the fact that you still managed to fit that Lizzie McGuire shirt into one of like the promo shots. I was like, yes, this is quintessential Beau here. It wouldn't have been a Beau involved campaign if it wasn't there, and I loved it.
Well, I think last time I was on Deckin Around, I talked about every trailer I do, I kind of sneak Hillary Duff in where I can.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a Hillary Duff snuck in certain places. You get a sneaker in where you can. I'm probably gonna have an AVO out against me soon, but
oh, okay, dude.
I'll pay royalties to Hillary.
It happens. It happens. Yeah, I mean, oh my god.
I mean, it shouldn't happen. Let's be honest.
That's it. Was
one day, dude, you just need to hit her up on Cameo. Like, that's what needs to happen. Someone needs to be like, hey, Hillary Duff, Beau needs a Cameo birthday message. It'll make your day, and you'll be fine.
Well, I think she already knows who I am and stuff, but I think that's probably why. So she's avoiding me like the plague.
Oh my god. Could be. Very well could be. But you know what, though? Once she sees these trash and burn decks, she's going to be hitting you up real quick. Be like, when's the Hillary Duff deck coming out? Jesus.
Well, who's the Queen of Diamonds in the Ristretto Playing Cards, I wonder?
Oh, is that Hillary? No, I didn't know that.
I don't know if I'm having a stroke or I'm winking, but I'm pretty sure it's a wink if anyone's watching at home. But yeah, no, it's it's changed enough so we don't have copyright out after us. But
yeah, that's
yeah.
good.
And so now, with your ultimate fascination with bathtubs as well, are there any plans for a waterproof deck in the future?
Yeah, I think we'll probably go. That's a good idea. We'll probably have to go plastic for that, or if we get the price low enough that you can do
just drop it in the tub and not carry it.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, it's the same deck, trash and burn, and you can bathtub it.
Oh yeah, then maybe there's like a bathtub gin deck or something. Play on that. And then there's like it's the decks all bathtubs.
Those bathtub gin.
Ooh, and that's gonna be like maybe that's what it comes in instead of like a dumpster garbage truck. It's a gin bottle.
That would be really dope. Oh my god!
Can you imagine like some of the younger magicians out there going, "Mum, can I buy some bathtub gin playing cards?"
Oh my god, I love it. I love it.
Oh,
That would be
dude.
perfect.
Bubble.
Sorry.
Gin and bubbles.
Well, yeah, it should just come with bubble bath, right?
Yeah.
Why are we trying to get drunk?
Real magicians practice in the bathtub.
I mean, that's how you get really good. If you drop it, that way you don't drop your cards in the tub.
That's
I love
it.
Next level practice.
And so now you went for a short campaign on this one too, which was interesting because I feel like a lot of brands shy away from the short campaign. What was your motivation behind that?
Good question. Well, the month killed us. I think the first month that we did ours, it was a roller coaster. Again, Steve, Kickstarters, the first week you're like, this is good, it's pumping. And then the lull in the 2 weeks in between, you're pushing hard, but everyone's like, oh, I've still got 3 weeks or I've still got 2 weeks. Yeah. And it kills you. And then the last week, by then you're just drained and you've no more energy and you go, I can't do this anymore. And you're crying in the bathtub, crying into your gin. And you're like, I can't do this. And I'm done. And then, which happened in my first Kickstarter. I think the wife came in. I was in the bathtub, and I had like some beer bottles bubbling next to me, and I was just like, "Why do I do this? Why do I do this?" And then also too, you get a lot of people go, "I want the cards as soon as possible," because it's like if you buy anything online now, you don't want to have to wait a month for you to get the order through, and then wait another couple of months to get the stuff. So we did it in 2 weeks. So you literally buy it, you wait a week or 2 weeks if you buy it on the first day. And then as soon as it was funded, within 24 hours, we'll put the order through. So the decks are starting to get made now. And
nice.
Awesome.
So if everyone backs out of their Kickstarter and doesn't pay, and then we lose it all, and then we have to pay for the decks ourselves, then cool, we've got some.
You're going to be using the decks to keep the dumpster burning to stay warm.
That's it. But yeah, so we put the order through and the decks are getting done. So we hope by the end of like June, everyone's be getting their cards.
That's awesome. So, also, Andy is in here and he says, drawing up the bathtub gin deck now. So there you go. We now got a quick sneak peek into Howlin Jack's deck 3.
Seriously drawing.
Oh my god. I can only imagine how much fun Andy is having right now being like, let me draw Beau in a bathtub.
Oh, we did that for the first deck because I think every time we had a meeting, he would call up and I'd be in the bath. So when we did the Ristrettos, I think that's why I'm in a coffee cup. Like he's just like, you need to be in a bath of coffee. Like, and that's why
so
the photo shoot. So
I love it, dude. And I love the Jokers on this deck too. I love the fact that you guys brought yourselves to the Jokers and really have a fun time with it. Not only is this deck just all around again, meant to be like an accessible workers deck, but you also really do bring your personalities to it with the styling and bringing yourselves to the Jokers and just having fun with the artwork. It's awesome.
Well, the best part is I love Andy's design. So I met Andy years ago through a friend of ours that kind of introduced us, and he's like, you guys will get along like a house on fire. And as soon as I saw Andy's art, I was like, this is brilliant. I missed a trick there. I should have said you would have got along like a trash can on fire. God. Let's redo this. No, and then so I met Andy a few years ago, and he was fell in love with his work. We got on and then this guy said, "You guys get along like a trash can on fire." And then, geez, I forgot what I was saying too. And then I saw Andy's work. I was like, fell in love. I'm like, this guy is brilliant. And then, so pretty much this actual deck, because we're talking about it, and then he came away and come back to me with like, this is what I'm thinking. And just everything he showed me was like, this, I love this. And then we were talking about the Jokers. I'm like, what do we do for the Jokers? And he's like, we should do, so every deck that we do has a little head nod to either a previous deck or a future deck that we're going to do.
Nice.
So like a little treasure hunt. No, it's not a treasure hunt. It's just a little head nod, isn't it?
Well,
I can't be talking nonsense. Yeah, if you follow the Ace of Spades and you turn it to the blood moon at 3 p.m., it's shut up. It's a head nod. And Andy just comes up with these things. And he's like, let's do us because we need to get our egos a little bit bigger somewhere. And I was like, brilliant. And then he did a little head nod to the Ristrettos on that, the Jokers and stuff, and. Yeah, we had to put ourselves on that, I think, because we love this deck. You wouldn't put your face on it if you didn't love it, right? So
yeah,
we'll go with that. I mean, either way, you do love it. So in this scenario, yes, it's true. But
just people don't. You can't rip up that card. That's all.
Well, that's why because we did it too because we're like, it's a bit of a joke because we're like, people don't like the Jokers. They throw them away. Yeah. So I think the first trailer that I shot and I sent it to Andy, I even say like, if you hate the Jokers, rip it up and chew it and spit it out. Like. That's what they're there for. So I'd be happy if you want to chew on anyone's face. I want it to be mine. And then we're like, well, no, we can't put that in. But that's the whole point. We if you don't like the Jokers, then we're happy for you to throw us away.
Just keep the rest in the trash and burn us.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, so that's why we did the Jokers. Well, Andy did the Jokers and I was like, this is brilliant. Mounted on a wall. It's great.
Awesome. No, that's great. Yeah. So we have 2 days left, right?
2 days left. Yeah, less than 2 days. Literally, yeah, Friday. Oh, yeah, hang on.
Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we have a little under 46 hours left.
It's getting crazy. I think we have a couple more things that we want to unlock, but if we get there, then we can unlock them. But at the moment, we're just excited to get the decks out. Like, nice. Yeah, I think we even have 2 more cards in there. Like we have a double backer and a duplicate 3 of diamonds. So if you do magic stuff, you're sorted there. What else can I throw off quickly before we have to leave?
What's your favorite part? What's your favorite part of the deck?
Oof.
Other than you.
Other than chewing on my face and spitting it out. I think probably the court cards. I love the court cards. Actually, probably the fox is my favorite. I think she's incredible. But yeah, I think the court cards are my favorite. Yeah,
I love their little like trash crowns.
Oh yeah, just looking at the queen here, that's gotta be terrible. That's not gonna focus. But yeah, every court card too, because there's another thing. Court cards, people wanted similarities between the court cards. Like other court cards, our last ones were very different between the things. So the reds is similar enough, but a little slight detail changes in them. So yeah.
I dig it. I like his style.
Dude, I love Andy's style. He also is very versatile in his style because even though it's similar to what the styling was for Ristretto, it's also different in its own ways. It's very unique. I like his work. So
he's like definitely the Spice Girls when they went up, or the One Direction when they split up, went their own ways. They knew they had their little cool bits that everyone loved, but they was able to get into everything, right?
There you go. I like how it started with a Spice Girl reference though too, and then One Direction. So
I know because I was like, oh, I can't be talking about the Spice Girls. Can't pretend I know a lot about the Spice Girls. Let's talk about boys.
Let's talk about Hanson.
I love it, man. And so, Beau, what's the first thing you're gonna do? So here's the thing. You said you put a lot of testing into the Trash and Burn deck. What's one of the things that you were nervous about with the handling that really surprised you with the deck?
Probably the one thing we worked on a lot on is fans and spreads, because a lot of the times you can't get a nice fan with like plasticky cards or like cheaper decks and stuff. Like when I went to the dollar store and we bought all these decks because we were like, who prints these cards, to try and find who printed them so we could go to them and say, but they didn't spread right, they didn't work right. And then that's why when we were testing all this stuff, we found Hank's cards. And we got the spread we kind of wanted, but then we played with that, like the linen air cushion finish, that we could actually spread them enough to actually fan them out or have them handle well. And that's why we handle them. I can't do card magic. My fingers, I broke my fingers and stuff. So I can't handle cards well. So I handle them, gave them to magicians that handle cards. I'm like, spring these, shuffle these, do these handle like you want a deck to handle. And that was terrifying for me because I can handle a card all day. I'm like, ooh, this is nasty. But I don't know what they're like to, handle with. So I gave it to people that use cards. And Joel, who's a good friend of mine, I gave him a deck and I said, use and abuse these, trash and burn them. And he was using them every day for like slides and shuffles. And he's like, they loosen up. They're already soft, but they mold and they do whatever he wants them to do. So
nice.
That was terrifying for me. I wanted them to be able to do what magicians want them to do, or cardists. So,
Steve, you muted yourself.
Sorry,
I don't know.
I was coughing and I didn't want to
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Steve has this nice soundboard next to him too, with the mute button right on it, and he still uses the mute on the StreamYard, which always kills me.
It's right in front of me. It's so
easy.
Except
it shows up like a little shitty microphone with an X through it next to your name. It always looks ugly. Bothers the hell out of me. But that being said, no, dude, I'm so excited to see this deck though, because I know you included Steve and I a lot in the discussions pre-launch, and so this has been a hell of a process. What's one thing that you'd want to say to potential backers out there who may be on the fence?
Get off the fence.
Yeah, get off the fence.
Dive right in the
dumpster. Get in the dumpster. Yeah. No, I know I've done it in the past. You see Kickstarters and you get like, should I spend my money on something that's kind of experimental? But we did the testing. We tried really hard on this deck, and again, it's $7 a deck, so you can kind of just jump in and just test them out. But they'll handle like you will. You won't regret it. You won't. I haven't given these decks to anyone that'll be like, ugh, this is terrible. So
yeah.
And if you are like that, I will send you a nude. That's gonna get no one complaining. Then everyone's like, I don't want this. I'm not gonna complain. I don't want that in my life. I'm just gonna put up with them.
I'm gonna tell you right now, 9 times out of 10, I get a video from Beau. He's either in the tub or in the shower, and I'm just like, it's a good day.
Yeah.
I love it.
Look, if I can carry my iMac now, I'd take you into the shower with me. We just have to finish this up.
Okay. Oh my God, I love it. Well, for anyone who hasn't checked out the Trash and Burn yet, head over to Kickstarter. The link is in the description below. Click it. You have less than 48 hours to back these decks. They are honestly an amazing workers deck that I think any magician out there who's looking for something a little spicier than a traditional bicycle rider back deck is going to absolutely love. And honestly, for anyone who knows Beau, they can confirm that he is a magical genius. For anyone who doesn't know Beau, trust our word on it. He is a magical genius. And so with that in mind, honestly, if he's telling us he put in the testing on this and this thing handles great, it surely will handle great. I'm excited to check it out myself. And with that in mind, I will also throw it out there. I'm a backer of this deck myself. So you know that it's worth checking it out. I know Steve is too. We love this project and really support it because we're always looking for people to bring new printers into the community. That's one of the biggest things that excites me about this, other than Andy's dope artwork and the fact that Beau's involved, is seeing a new printer come to the scene who people have faith in. Because a lot of times you see new printers come to the scene and like Beau said, the fan is just trash. And you're like, all right, like I want to like this deck. The ink's cool, the artwork's cool, blah, blah, whatever, but it handles like garbage. It's exciting to hear creators coming to the table addressing those issues.
Yeah.
Oh,
you said it.
Thank you so much. We love you.
Thank
you, everyone, for coming out on this.
Thank you.
What day is it?
Beautiful Wednesday afternoon.
I just realized I'm very orange because the sun is setting over there too. So I'm like, that's why the whole time I'm trying to do this to try and get better light. I look like an orange.
Pink, buddy. You got a little hue of orange, but you're more
I'm just putting that red filter on, mate.
Yeah.
Gotta sell this deck where I can. Burn it into everyone's pupils.
But for everyone who hasn't, definitely head over to the Kickstarter. Time is running out, and you definitely don't want to miss out on this deck. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Beau, thank you for coming on and talking to us today about the Trash and Burn deck. Go get that last I can't even call it. I want to call it a dump truck. Go get that last garbage truck for anyone who is interested in it. That thing is so dope. I love it. Everyone, make sure to like, share, subscribe, go back the deck, and look at that. And go hit up Beau. Tell him how much you love this deck. Everyone, enjoy your Wednesday evening, and we will talk to you soon.
Peace.
Bye.